qui est dans ton champ?
C'est un monsieur Lavoie.
Ça va-tu bien, Marie-Reine?
Toujours bien. Mais ça va faire du bien retourner à Guy aussi. Hello.
So one thing's unique about you guys, we talked about a little bit in the past, is that you've got all the way from Sunset House to Marie-Reine, which is about 200 kilometers.
Yeah, maybe a bit less, but yeah, 180, 190 clicks.
Would you say that's something unique to you guys, or you know a lot of farmers that do it that way?
I mean, there's people that own farms up here that are from southern Alberta, so I guess that's further than 200 kilometers, but yeah, it's somewhat unique in its own way, for sure.
So are you meaning some southern Alberta farmers, they bring their equipment all the way up here to farm?
No, usually they run it as separate operations, but they still own the land, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you use your 9 combines and you travel the whole length and...
Yeah, we do, yeah. So it's happened once where we leave here and we go all the way to Sunset House in the combines, and that's a 3.5 hour drive.
Oh.
Yeah.
How fast does the combine go top speed?
You know, you're asking the wrong guy, but I'm guessing around
50 kilometers an hour. Then if it's 200,
I would say 40 to 50 kilometers an hour, somewhere in there for sure.
I haven't asked the farmer this, but the rail strike, did that ever jeopardize you guys taking your crop to...
Yeah, so we did have a lot of crop contracted off the combine, and had that strike lasted, you know, any amount of time, and I'm sure we're not alone, there would have been a real backlog of crop. Like I think we would have, I'm not sure how we would have stored it all. So yeah, no, unfortunately it didn't last very long, but you know, I think everything's gonna work out now, I think.
So you said a wet year. Did you have any problems with fungus at all?
Well, we sprayed for fungicide, but we typically do, you know, on a decent, you know, a normal rainfall and above, we typically do fungicide.
Okay. Yeah. On an upcoming video, I do want to focus on aerial spraying. How do you see aerial spraying versus ground spray?
I feel they're both like, so I've hired a lot of aerial applicators, mainly Northern Air out of Peace River. That's who we typically use. And Artie's spray out of, I guess they're out of Manitoba, but they fly out of Eaglesham. And I feel they do just as good a job. They get right on the crop, and they do a great job. And we typically only hire planes for fungicide and for a pre-harvest application. But this year we did most of it with our own sprayers.
And because it was a wet year, no ruts?
Well, so yeah, during the fungicide season it did get quite wet, and I did hire the planes to finish my fungicide application because I didn't want to make ruts. So yeah, you're right. I did do that for to finish some fungicide, but only because it was that wet and I didn't want to make ruts, and the timing was there and I had to get it done. So.
And what about the tracks? Is that a significant loss or not for the sprayer track?
You mean in a pre-harvest application? I wouldn't say it's.
I'm talking late application.
Yeah, like if you look.
Desiccant.
You could take a video of it if you like, but you can see where the sprayer went up and down, and yeah, I mean there's some loss, but it's probably a break even compared to paying a plane to spray. Okay. So. You know,
would you say 5% maybe?
No,
not that much.
I feel like if you were to, so we figure out the area of like how wide the tires are and what that would be, you know, loss per acre based on the width of the tires. And I think if you were to say that you lose 100% of what you trample, I think it would be like 3 acres on a quarter section on 160 acres. So,
that's,
you know,
2%.
It's very, yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, but it is when you get in thick canola like this is here up against the banks. the guys say when they're contending with those ruts, it's not a lot of fun. Yeah, so there are years when commodity prices are higher where I'll spend the money on doing the thick crops of canola. But that being said, some fields are right adjacent to an acreage or to somebody's yard and garden, so yeah, it's a bit of a balancing act that way. To begin with, it's been a long season already. We started early. I think we're pretty much done seeding in April, and but you know, things it was cool early on and took quite a while for things to mature. So now we're well into it. I think we're September 5th today, and I'd say we're probably 40% done, and we're, you know, chugging along, and we're having some beautiful yields for the year. I mean, I don't know if we've ever had a bigger crop overall. That being said, we did get hit with some hail a couple nights ago, so you know, that'll definitely cut into things a little, but overall I can't really complain about you know, the production part of things. Of course, the prices are terrible and we're in for a lean year that way, but I mean, that's out of our control.
Don't disappoint me. I've never met a farmer that doesn't complain, so
I haven't disappointed you yet then.
What about the staff, the crew? A lot of changes this year, much the same as
I'd say much the same. Our younger, I call them our younger guys that we bring in from overseas, or they're all different from last year. So I've got a young man from France, a young man from New Zealand, and a young Australian. And this spring we had a young Dutchman who helped us seed, but he left after seeding. So yeah, that's the really good guys, and the rest are pretty much all the same. There's maybe one new guy, but new truck driver, but otherwise pretty much the same.
What about Jonah, Mathieu, Max, and Alex? Are they back on the trucks?
Yeah, so the three, Maxime and Jonah and Mathieu, are on trucks, and Alex is at university trying to learn something.
Same degree as his dad. What's gonna happen with that?
I don't know. It sounds scary, doesn't it?
So always the first year machines. There was 9. How low that with first year problems? How many machines were you at? Down to 4 or 5 at any point?
No. Any problems we have are basically software. So, you know, worst case scenario, all you need to do is just like a computer, you reboot it, and often it fixes a problem. So it's just annoying more than anything. We don't really lose a lot of production. It's just more annoying than anything else.
Good support from the John Deere team?
The best, yeah. They do everything they can and then some.
I think they owe you a trip to the head office soon. Is that this winter, maybe?
It's definitely on the radar. We have nothing booked or planned yet, but definitely in the works. So I hope to make it there, you know, one day soon.
Okay, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Any John Deere management that may be hearing this video?
I don't know. I'd have to ask them. I'm sure they have bigger and better things to do.
Thanks, Christian. Good luck on the rest of the harvest season.
Thanks for coming to visit.
Always enjoy it.